All right, folks, here's part 2 of the Protect and Grow Your Money section of the Freedom Now community kind of manage your money sequence. All right, so equity indexing, we see that as a concept now, and now let's kind of put that into real life. Let's say, okay, how would we potentially use this? Well, there are several different ways that you can do this. You can actually use an annuity. There's an indexed annuity where you roll big chunks of money from old 401ks or IRAs or chunks of cash, maybe inherited money from the sale of a house. You just want to protect this money and have it be accessible. That's great. If you have sometimes the correct scenario, we actually can create some tax strategies for you as well and put it inside not an annuity but inside a life insurance policy. So we're going to go into that now. All right. So tax strategies. Let's talk about that. You've got tax deductible accounts. You've got tax-deferred accounts, and you've got tax-free accounts. Now, some accounts have 2 of these 3. Which one would you pick if you could only pick one? Well, everybody that I do a seminar for says tax-free. That sounds great. And in fact, what's interesting is that examples of what people have are 401ks, IRAs, 403bs for nonprofits, etc. Those are tax-deductible and tax-deferred accounts. They're great if you're getting a match. If you're not getting a match on those, then you're probably setting yourself up for a very, very harsh reality in the future, which is that if we have all the bailouts that have happened and the deficits that have piled up over the last decade in this country, we got baby boomers retiring at 8,000 of them a day, turning 60. We got this huge pressure being put on the financial system by all these outside forces. What is going to give? It's going to be taxes, right? At some point in the future, my personal opinion, this is not an exact science, but there's my personal opinion, and based on a lot of economists and a lot of people, they believe that taxes will go up in the future. So if that's the case, then what people really want is something like Roth IRAs, municipal bonds, and something called investment-grade life insurance. Why? Well, because you can put money in those accounts. It doesn't go in with a tax deduction right now, but you're in probably the lowest tax bracket you're going to be in for the foreseeable future. Because now you've got deductions, you've got maybe kids that you're deducting, you've got your house, you've got business expenses, you're actually putting money into some of these other plans. So you got all these deductions. In the future, are you going to have those deductions? No, they're all going to go away. So if these deductions are going to go away, then what you're going to want then is something that will grow tax deferred. All the interest will grow tax deferred, and then you can take it out anytime you want tax free. Roth IRAs are limited to 59.5. Life insurance you can get to anytime. So I've got 20, 25, 30, 35, 40-year-old kids, basically, in my opinion now, because where I'm at in my life, they are putting sometimes up to $1,000 a month into some of these plans, these life insurance plans as a couple. That then is going to pile up into a big pile of cash. It's completely protected using the index strategies. And at some point down the road, when they're 45, 50, 55 years old, they can get to any of that money they would like without paying taxes and not worrying about the risk. Okay, so a Roth IRA is nice, but it's limited to only about $400 a month for most people or less. And the life insurance is unlimited. You can put as much as you want. So, would you rather pay taxes on seeds, if you're a farmer, or the crops that creates later on? That's the strategy we're talking about here. Pay taxes now. Get it done. Get it out of the way. You're done with it forever. No matter how big that account gets, especially if it's protected as well, you know it's going to grow. Let's pay taxes later. How does America normally invest? Well, we do fixed markets like checking and savings and CDs, money market, stable value funds inside 401ks. We like those because those are guaranteed, just like that chart earlier. The equities markets we like because these have the upside and the downside, possibility, but then you got to deal with the downside, right? So here's the fixed markets over here, which small upside guarantees. The equities markets have both extremes. So how do you reconcile these? How do you get something in between? Well, it's called indexing, just like we talked about earlier. And in this scenario, we're talking about from a tax strategy standpoint using life insurance. So we can actually have a life insurance policy that has cash build up inside it, very inexpensive life insurance, and the life insurance ends up costing less than all the taxes you would have paid. And we can actually run a side-by-side comparison for a lot of people. This gets really exciting. We're going to tell you in a little bit at the end of this how you go out and go find somebody that can do one of these for you. Okay? Index life insurance then is used as a vehicle then to get people to their retirement island or their financial freedom island, or whatever it is they're aiming for. Maybe they don't want to retire, they just want to be financially free. Well, you have to have an actual vehicle that you're running on, and index life insurance is a great one. So let's just say that the index life insurance is like a ship. It's like a boat. Well, in my scenario, my wife's name is Robin, so I would name my boat, my retirement boat, Robin, and her favorite color is green. And if we just put a little bit of money into this boat, a little bit of fuel, it's not going to get there very fast, right? We have to really, really stretch it out and go slow. But what if we pour the money into something like this, and we've got the cash, we've got money we've gotten from an inheritance and it's sitting in a CD or just sitting somewhere kind of dormant because we don't know what to do? We can start pouring money into one of these indexed life policies. Unlimited amounts based on, there's a lot of factors we have to factor in, but the IRS guidelines will basically allow you to put as much as you want. Then we tailor it so that we keep the death benefit as low as we legally can get away with by the IRS rules so that it's cheap. It's not much money that you're paying for the death benefit. At that point, then now we have a vehicle that can get us there, all right? There's some other really cool benefits that come out of using these indexed life policies. Number one is that they are completely protected from judgments, malpractice, and bankruptcy. Now, who would that be important to? Doctors, attorneys, people that are in service professions where they're having to worry about some weird circumstance that comes up. Doctors get sued sometimes for totally ridiculous things. They have to go through a malpractice hearing and everything when it really wasn't even something that they were at fault on. It's just part of the system, right? They want to protect themselves from those kind of things. That's why they have malpractice insurance. If somebody goes through a bankruptcy because of a crazy situation like in the economy right now, wouldn't it be nice if you had a big chunk of money you had put away that you then can count on in retirement that no one can get to? By law, no one can get to it even in a bankruptcy situation. That'd be pretty cool, right? Well, the situation that mostly comes up is that people don't have it inside something like this, and it gets seized through that bankruptcy proceeding and used to pay off all these other creditors that basically in that scenario you would have been able to avoid. You would have been able to avoid that situation. You don't want to deliberately kind of skirt the system, but if it's legal, then we can use these protections and these systems to protect large sums of money from ever being seized for anything other than fraud. Fraud, yes, the government could come in and come tap that money. But if you did everything correct, you just made some mistakes, and it wasn't intentional, then no one can get to that money for any reason. Pretty neat. So again, the question that I ask my clients all the time is, would you rather pay for insurance, a little bit of insurance, and we can tailor that in a way that it comes out very inexpensive, or pay a ton of taxes? Well, I'm a very, very patriotic person. I want to make sure that I do my fair share, and there's things that we pay taxes for that are needed, like roads and bridges and schools and all the things that we need. We got to have those things as a society, right? So we pay our fair share. But there is a maximum legal amount that the government can charge you in taxes and a minimum legal amount. Most people don't really understand those two extremes. They're kind of in the middle somewhere. They're not necessarily paying the minimum, but they're not necessarily paying the maximum, all right? So if we legally can get away with paying less than we're paying right now over the long haul, we just have to use some specific strategies. Well, one of them is using life insurance to park that cash. That is a bad word for a lot of people. Sometimes they hear that. They go, life insurance? Golly, I've always been told never put money in that. Blah, blah, blah. That was the old style life insurance. The new products that are out now and the new types of accounts, people have been using these for the last 10 years. They're extremely happy with them. They didn't lose anything in this last downturn. They can tap the money before 59.5. It's completely tax-free. And it's just an amazing system if it's used the right way. Now, the caveat to this is you got to go meet with somebody who really knows what they're doing and knows how to set these up. All right? So where can you go get one of these? Well, the first person that I would check with, if you're in a market that's not near where we are, is go check with somebody that is basically a financial advisor and ask them specifically if they do these kinds of accounts and get some education from them about them. A lot of advisors do these. They just don't bring them up very often because they don't think their clients are interested in this kind of stuff, I guess. I don't know. And then the other person is maybe an insurance agent. If you have an insurance agent that you really trust and really like, ask that insurance agent, because all that's required to be able to do this is an insurance license. So sometimes insurance agents, like your car insurance and homeowners insurance and all that, they may have the license to do this. They then can potentially do it for you just as an independent, separate thing. But a lot of financial advisors are now moving towards this kind of planning. And then the third thing is possibly your CPA. A lot of CPAs now are partnered with financial planners that have this kind of expertise and know how to do this from a tax planning standpoint. They understand it, they get it, and a CPA can be a good place. Okay, we would love to sit down with you and show you this stuff as well. And again, no obligation. We just basically show the plan to somebody and see if it works, see if it doesn't. If it does, great. If not, then at least they've learned something. Okay. Guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope this opens up some questions for you and gives you some different ideas on how you can protect your money and also grow it. Maybe get some tax strategies as well. We really look forward to the next section of the program here. Guys, Alan Sanders again, Freedom Now Community. I hope that little lesson was helpful to you and is going to open up some possibilities for you as far as managing your money. And we're going to have a whole bunch of other guests and different people in the financial sector helping us with these kinds of strategies for you. So that it's all free. It's all free information. Please invite other people to come check out our blog, which is blog.freedomnowcommunity.com. invite people in. They can opt in and start getting this whole sequence of emails for themselves as well. We're just trying to grow the community and provide value. So thanks again. We'll see you soon. Bye.